You find me? Alright, so my name is Nur Syafiqah Abdullah and my matrix number is 1200701. So today, can you guess what is the topic that we're gonna talk? You must not gonna know. Let's wait and see. Hey Syafiqah, can you tell me what's the impact that globalization gave to Australia? Of course I can tell you, but you must know that there is one condition. Okay, so you must hear first. Whoop. Alright, so I think you already know that what the topic that I'm gonna talk about. Okay, so the topic is about globalization on Australia. So we can see that what's the impact that globalization gave to Australia. Alright, so without further ado, let's go to the introduction. Bye. What is globalization? Globalization is the process by which businesses or other organizations develop international influence or start operating on an international scale. It describes the growing interdependence of the world, economics, culture, and population brought about by cross-border trade in goods and services, technology, and flows of investment and information. Generations of Australian citizens have witnessed and experienced the many changes of Australian society. Globalization is one form of this revolution that is continuing to change Australia. As can be seen in Figure 1, Australia has evolved over many years and globalization is continuing to do this. The issue being examined in the following is globalization and whether it has a positive or negative impacts on the country of Australia. This report seeks to determine overall positive or negative political, social, economic, and environmental impacts of globalization on Australia. Globalization is the name given to the growing economic interdependence amongst nations. It is the movement of trade, investment, technology, finance, and labor. It has increased as a result of developments in technology, transport, and communications, free trade, and the collapse of communism and the rise in the global brands and companies. For the political impacts, politically globalization has had a considerable positive effect on Australia. The greatest effect it has had is for islands and nations that required aid after natural disaster. The Australian government aid program focused on economic growth, law and justice, as well as enhanced service delivery in countries that need it. They also assisted the Samoan government in improving education and teaching. The countries receiving aid are predominantly in the Pacific Islands. Additionally, Australia has just signed a free trade agreement with China. China buys most of Australia's agricultural produce, and in 2013, they spent $9 billion. The agreement gives Australia an advantage over larger competitors as it says that within 4 until 11 years, there will be no tariffs on many foods and products such as dairy and live animal products. It will affect education, telecommunications, health, tourism, and financial services, just to name a few. To conclude, the political impacts of globalization on Australia has been extensive, and not only to Australia but also to the countries that have received aid from the Australia government. The social impacts of globalization on Australia are considerably positive. Australia is a position far away from the other continents of the world, but globalization has brought Australia closer to the rest of the world's population. Multiculturalism is a major effect, which means Australia still experiences foods, music, and custom from all over the world. It has made us more knowledgeable of cultures and more diverse. However, a negative effect of this is that a dominance of other cultures can be seen in aspects of Australian life such as music and media. American influence on Australian society has increased since World War II. This negatively affects the people of Australia as it means the national identity is being overviewed by American representation. Additionally, globalization has meant advanced mobility between countries. 1 in 6 people working in medicine are born overseas, bringing with them their own set of skills but also challenges. The language barrier can prove difficult for patients in some circumstances. Patients may refuse to be seen by foreign doctors. Furthermore, the social impacts of globalization on Australia are substantially positive. The economic impacts of globalization on Australia are intermediate. the natural resource exports of Australia sell to a market of over 6.5 billion people. Primary resources such as coal, uranium, iron, beef, wool, and rice make up 50% of exports. Figure 1 shows what the top exports were in 2009 until 10. It can be seen that primarily exports are minerals and other natural resources, and the value of Australia's exports has risen 32% over previous years. Furthermore, it is currently the easiest to migrate somewhere than ever before, and because of this, the Australian economy has boosted. However, car manufacturing in Australia is receding quickly and GM Holden has stated that by 2017, their manufacturing operation in Australia will have stopped. Over 3,000 jobs will be lost due to the pull-out, as well as meaning all vehicles needing to be imported. Ford has also pulled out of operation in Australia, and the high dollar, production costs, and a small market are to blame. Therefore, whilst economic positives can be seen, the negatives are also significant. The environmental impacts of globalization on Australia are substantially negative. The effect of pollution on the environment is increasingly negative. An increase in manufacturing and production in factories also increases the gases emitted into the air. Australia's greenhouse gases are some of the worst in the world, and factories and production lines are a major reason for this. However, primary industry also have a negative impact on the environment through mining and also agriculture. The methods through which these practices pollute or damage the environment. Additionally, the use of waterways has increased from globalization because of shipping products globally, as well as migrating and touring. This extra commuting adds to the pollutants in the water polluting oceans globally. Furthermore, the impact globalization has on the Australian environment is largely negative. In summary, the political, social, economic, and environmental effects of globalization on Australia are primarily positive. Politically, the impacts were justifiably positive, and similarly with the social impacts. Additionally, the positive and negative impacts on the economy can be seen to be neutral. However, the environmental impacts of globalization are vastly negative. To conclude, globalization has impacted all aspects of Australian life substantially for the positive. Oh, is that already finished? Yeah, okay. So, how about my explanation? Is it good? So I hope that I already explained clearly, and I hope that you understand. So I think that's all from me, and thank you for hearing me.